some of it, and I'll let Norma explain, but she's the European traveler.
Have you been to Europe with Grandma?
Went to Spain and was on an insurance company trip. Other than that, I'd let her go, and I'd take off for the Northwoods.
Have I been?
You guys have really. So my question I'm asking that didn't get on the recorder is what a favorite place that they visited. And you guys really have done a lot of traveling.
She spent time, a fair amount of time, on one trip with her brother and sister-in-law.
Remember that when I went to France and all those places?
Well, that was really a unique opportunity. Grandma's sister-in-law, Margot, was from France, so you got to really experience it firsthand with her.
Yeah. And then Marlon took me to, and Margot didn't always go, but they took me to, he took me to all the places he had been in the service.
She went to that International Air Show in France.
The Paris Air Show. That would, that's one of the top things that I've gone to.
A lot of people have done that.
A lot of people have done that. Oh, I was going to say, I was coming home from our last little trip to Portland. I sat with a gentleman between Phoenix and Des Moines, and it was evening, and he could see the lights of towns below, and he'd tell me he had flown in there. He had a small plane, and he takes these trips here, and he takes these trips there, and then pretty soon he's telling me what this other town is, and I said, well, I can't really tell too much about airplanes and flying, but I did go to the Paris Air Show. And the guy just about jumped out of his chair.
Well, I surprised Norma with a trip to Australia for her 50th anniversary.
Oh. Was that what it was for? Was your 50th wedding anniversary? So you guys were I
happened to find a trip to Australia in New Zealand where the day lost, it's my watch. If I'm going to take a pill, I die. Where the day lost in transit, crossing the time, was the day of our anniversary. So in reality, we've never had a 50th.
I still have it to look forward to. And who broke the sound barrier?
Chuck Yeager.
Chuck Yeager. And I had lunch with Chuck Yeager when I went to the Paris Air Show with Martin.
So you met him?
Yeah.
This isn't driving, but I'm going to relate this story about when I discovered that our first female Chief Justice. Is that right?
Yeah, she was. Yeah. Sandra Day.
Sandra Day.
Yeah. At this point in time, she was in her first term, fairly new, and we ended up having Sunday dinner with them at the Southern Iowa Farm. Marlon, Margot, Sandra Day.
And and Marlon and Margot. This was very nice because they just called up neighbors.
And that particular time, it was just the five of us at the table.
Oh yeah. Okay.
That's my story.
Okay.
Anyway, there was a lot of news about a concern on the part of many people of foreign governments and foreign citizens buying up our prime farmland in big chunks. It was a scare at the time, and making the papers and the radio and the TV. And the subject came up. In fact, she brought it up. She said, "You people here, agricultural backgrounds, what you're thinking about foreign citizens buying up our farmland?" And I said, "I think it would be fine. Just great." And she looked at me. I said, "We'll urge them to buy it. And when they buy it all up, we'll nationalize it and take it back." She turned her back on me and never said anything.
No, she didn't find that funny at all. Everybody else does.
I thought she'd laugh.
So were you referring to that when you said she doesn't have a sense of humor?
And now, did you know that her husband John is in a care center?
I didn't. I knew that he was quite sick. with Alzheimer's, right?
Yeah. And I heard just this past spring that he has a girlfriend there.
Oh, really?
What's it like away from her?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a movie called Away from Her, in which that same thing happens.
Really?
A woman with Alzheimer's who is married.
That's quite common.
Yeah. Yeah. And she really,
Whole change of personality.
yeah, she was able to, those two really could relate to each other in a way that she could no longer relate with her husband. In this particular movie, the spouses of the two in the care center then end up getting together.
Mother, who was ambulatory, good physical form that way, was in the later years paying a lot of attention in the rest center to a old gentleman in a wheelchair, and you could tell he loved it. He
And
had a lot of attention.
But he looked like Oscar.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah.
Do you want some?
Apple crust?
Want some applesauce?
You want some applesauce?
No. Okay. So I guess we had started on the conversation. Do you have a favorite place of all these travels? Do you have one you could name as your favorite?
Would you like to go back?
Oh, I'd like to go back to most all of them.
Well, that's
I wouldn't
can't do that
mind.
here.
Do I have a favorite? Not. I have favorite things about each one, I might say.
I like my time on the ocean, I guess.
Yeah, we know. We can just
In
know
Mexico?
what Gramps likes. But I like, traveling from place to place. Just looking. I like going to England and France and up to just all those places. There's something about every place that I really. I can't remember many trips that I didn't enjoy.
I have to say I admire that probably about your relationship. You guys have different interests and you have not really held each other back from doing what you want to do. You want to go to see all these new places and you did that. You want to go and fish
Can you
and
guess?
solitude and you've done that.
Guess whose
Idea?
wishes we observed when we didn't retire on the seacoast, but went to the desert instead.
But that hasn't been all that either.
It's been hard to reach the water with
Yeah.
the cast.
Yeah. But we're kind of past that.
We?
Don't you think we are?
Is this argument being recorded?
Gramps always
I
said,
still like to get up in the morning and walk out on the dock and fish a little.
Gramps said to me when I would mention places, a lot of places I'd like to go, he said, find a friend and go.
Just about 2 years ago now, I started seriously thinking about finding an assisted living place where you can, they'll take you all the way. You can buy your own place and take care of yourself as long as you can, and then you go into assisted, and then you go into full care. And I want to find a place where it'll be a mild climate year-round. Close enough to the ocean that if I'm able, I can get out and fish a little. And I even contacted several places to find out the particulars on them. Informed Norma about it, because Southern California came up to be, if we're going to stay in the States, came up to be the most promising. And she said, but our children, they're all back in Iowa. And I said, this is one of the advantages. And you're never more than a short day away by air, wherever you are,
Yeah, we're close.
But somehow she's not going to go that direction.
No.
So first it's the desert, second it's the desert, third it's Iowa full-time in a nursing home.
You think?
These are not my wishes.
When we're in the nursing home, who's going to care?
Well, I don't want to end it on this. Say some more uplifting things.
Let's get Jack in here and see if we can get him to say something. Hey, buddy.
Come here, bud. Jack, come here, buddy.
Now he runs away from us.
Come here, silly bud.
Come here, buddy.
Hey, Jack, come here.
Okay.
See, he's good.
You say.
Because you want him away, he's
Yeah.
not going.
You took the dog out, didn't you?
Ha ha ha. You're running.
Hey, Jack, come here, buddy. Come here by Mom. You're sorry?
No, he's I think he's doing something.
Did you guys have dogs when, and I'm recording again, did you guys have dogs when the kids were growing up?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I always had more than one. More than one.
Outside hunting dogs?
Farm dogs, not hunting dogs, really. Although every dog I ever had, we tried to hunt with. And the one dog would never pass up a hunting trip. He'd always be with me, regardless of how long I was out there walking.
But now you guys have had poodles now for you've had them for quite a while, 15 years.
This is the third one.
And the first one came by, she was just dumped, George was just dumped off.
Yeah.
You found him wandering down.
Came walking down our gravel road.
Was he blind already?
No. No. He could see well at that point. We advertised thinking someone had lost their dog. Because who in the world would turn a little dog like that loose?
Right.
And a month or so went by with a couple of 3 spells of advertising and no replies. So then we started advertising for a home for the little dog. And 2 or 3 weeks went by, and one night I look over as the dog is laying on Norma's stomach on the couch, staring into each other's eyes. And I hear Norma say, "We're keeping you."
We're keeping you, George.
Now, we'd had 2 or 3 replies for a home, and each time Norma decided they weren't good enough.
Now, didn't someone actually take the dog for a while, and then you went by and saw that you weren't really happy with the conditions?
Yeah.
So you went and took the dog back, right?
Actually, we took the dog back gladly, but the girl had to let it go because she was moving to a place where there were not pets.
I see. And now that, go ahead.
I went by and Georgie was tied to the pump handle in the rain.
Oh.
I couldn't stand that.
A cold fall rain. Yeah.
I called and I said, could I have Georgie for the weekend? And she said, I'm going to give George back to you because I'm moving to an apartment in Jewel and I can't have a dog.
And now since then, and you had George for years, and he became blind, and poor little guy was always running into the coffee table, I remember. Yeah. And now you rescue show poodles, right? These are old show poodles who have this.
Yeah, the next 2 came from a breeder that was looking for a home for her dogs that were either too old to breed or some failing that made them not fit for show. This little one's got the bad rear leg. Bad knee, they call it. I guess it goes out of the socket.
Go ahead.
Did you get crisp in there, Missy?
What?
Does Missy have crisp in there? It looked like
Yes.
that ice cream. Is this for Glenn, dear?
I don't know.
Okay, thank you.
Can I have a spoon, or do we have a spoon?
Oh, here, I took your spoon. All right.
There we go. He's got a spoon.
Yeah, we both got one.
Now we're all set up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Thanks, Norma.
So we're eating apple crisp, which is one of Grandma Norma's specialties. The recipe has been passed down.
became special just by accident. We accidentally moved where the apples were good.
The same apple trees that I grew up with.
And this is those apples that my dad went and got some apples from the farm, right?
Where you and Brooke used to climb. Yeah, that's. You come for watermelon day.
That was just always a lot of fun. And I remember Grandpa Oscar would give Brooke and I like $10 each to go to Watermelon Day.
Yeah.
And that was a lot of money.
Yeah.
Because that duck game was like 10 cents.
Yeah.
And you got a prize every time you picked up a duck.
Yeah.
So Brooke and I would just come home with bags and bags of plastic crap. You know, I don't ever remember eating any watermelon or anything like that. I just remember just playing the duck game and, you know, just trying to acquire as much plastic junk as we possibly could. And we were pretty young. You know, maybe we probably would have been like 7 or 8 just running loose out in the little park in Stanhope.
Well, you could do it, and you still can do it. You know, it's run by the local guys, and you knew they weren't going to be harmed.
And my parents had Joe and Jack this year on Watermelon Day, and took them.
I heard they must have just paraded Jack around.
Oh, sure.
I've heard.
Oh, have you? Heard.
I love Jack.
So since we're on the topic of food right now, what are favorite foods of both of yours?
Norma's is sweet corn.
Love sweet corn. Sweet corn.
Mine is prime beef or pork. I like meat.
Right, you could pretty much subsist on just meat, right? The vegetarian lifestyle has never really appealed to you.
Never gave any thought to trying it. After all, I was putting meat on the table when I was 12 years old.
True. So now Grandma's gone outside with the dog. So I'm just asking Grandpa now. Is there anything that you haven't done yet in life that you would like to do? Any place you haven't visited that you're hoping you can get in, or anything you want to learn about or see or do?
No, I honestly am just looking to that last grand experience of dying. Really.
You consider that a grand experience? Like what?
Yeah, it's about the only thing I haven't experienced.
So what do you think of, what do you think of the afterlife? What, do you have an idea of what that is?
Non-existent.
Do you consider yourself atheist?
Yes.
So, do you have fear of death?
No.
One day he said, "On to my next adventure." I thought that was a pretty good way to put it. Isn't that for all of us?
But you're not planning to reincarnate or be in heaven or anything. You're pretty. I mean, are you pretty convinced of that? I mean, it's interesting. I know for me personally, I feel like I don't really know. Like, it could be any number of things, and I have sort of hopes or ideas of what I think it might be. Are you just sure in your head, like there's nothing, or do you have ideas?
Absolutely sure. When I look at the statistics of accident for any one of us to be here.
We're here by accident.
And then look at the vastness of space and the uncountable eons of time, and the fact that Homo sapiens is just a blip on the scene in its entirety. We're not special. I think religion was invented by our species as they acquired enough intelligence to be afraid of things and they needed comfort.
So what do you think about this when you hear Grandpa say this kind of stuff?
Oh, I think it's just fine.
Do you agree with him, or what do you think the afterlife is?
I don't know, but I liked the term "on to my next adventure," whatever it is.
Has religion or spirituality ever been a source of argument between you guys, or has it ever been an issue? I know Glenn and I, it seems like it sort of comes up. It's not really an argument, but we think differently, and it's sort of passionate discussions sometimes.
I regard myself as atheist, but non-militant.
I like non-militants I like non-militant Christians and non-militant atheists. I like that in all of my spiritual beliefs, right?
It's something you have to just decide for yourself and be comfortable with it. And I am, whatever will be.
Do either of you have any regrets?
Regrets? Oh, yeah. But none that I can't forgive myself for.
I don't have any regrets.
Now, the reason Grandpa said on to the next adventure about death was I'd asked him if he had any sort of goals for the future, or anything that he would hope to experience, or places to see, or do you have anything of that nature?
I guess not.
And if there's an afterlife...
I like to...
Excuse me.
I like doing what I'm doing. You know, it's just... I don't have any...
And if there's an afterlife, I want to be sure that all of my dogs are there.
Well, now when they sprinkle Marlon's ashes in the mountains, Pete's ashes will be there too. That's his dog.
They're doing that in the mountains in Arizona?
Yeah, they're going to scatter them.
Did either of you have, I think of myself, I'm coming on 40 in a few years. Did either of you have sort of time of midlife crisis, or time when you did have fear of death, or... you both just seem so,
Was there a crisis in there somewhere?
Almost. You took me right up to the edge. If you really want to know.
That's why you knocked his tooth out?
I know personally I have times of sort of like, and I think Glenn and I have both talked recently of, for him, Glenn's father just passed away, and both Glenn and I have sort of certain spiritual, or not spiritual, but creative aspirations, things that we would like to do, and we're both kind of like, oh my God, our lives are half over, we got to get going on these accomplishments we want. Did you guys ever have that feeling like, oh no, I have to get some things done? Or have you had such a good attitude of...
No.
No, I actually, I guess I think of it as a normal acceptance as you age. There isn't anything...
So that does kind of set in as you...
There isn't anything that I haven't done that I want to do.
Now, I just love that spur of the moment, Janet and Carol and I going off to see. Now, there wasn't a big plan for that, and we just had a wonderful time, and both girls say, now, we should do something again sometime. Well, that'll be fine if it works out, if I can still walk.
So
if I can't...
Was there a turning point for you when you went from sort of, anxiety about aspirations or things you wanted to do to more acceptance? Do you remember a time when that turned around?
I like doing what I'm doing with the people I'm doing it with. There was a time, I guess, that I wasn't too happy doing things with people that I wasn't happy with as company to keep. But I don't have that anymore. I'd come home from card parties with a migraine headache. I wasn't having much fun.
So then what advice do you have for younger people who are stressed out about things? Or
I don't know anyone who's stressed out.
You don't? Oh, I guess not. You may have a grandchild or two who are occasionally.
But you know, but I'm not in charge of them. And I don't pretend to be. I'm not big on giving somebody advice because I feel that my children know much more about things than I do at this point.
This recording isn't very helpful. I would like you guys to help us out a little. Give us a little wisdom, for God's sakes, people.
Well, my thing, I just said it. Do what you want to do with the people that you want to do it with. Or, you know, or just together. I don't know. We've never just really, even through our rough times with the problem of alcohol in the home, it was not a fun time for Bob, and it wasn't a fun time for me either. But I just knew that he would be okay. 6 times I knew he would be okay.
I didn't know we were counting.
Well, you do when it's serious.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that we're at the age of wisdom yet.
No, I don't think so.
You got to get through the stage that you call the smarts first. And then maybe you get into wisdom.
Now, do you guys, this is kind of changing topic here, do you guys dream? Do you remember the dreams that you have at night?
I very seldom dream.
Oh, yeah, I remember my dream next morning. Do you?
Do you often?
Oh.
Like every day?
I dream every night.
What did you dream last night? Do you remember?
Well, let's see, it's a little vague now. But when I woke up, it was real. Why don't you think a minute?
Most of my nights
The rest of
are
this.
engrossed
You might
with,
not get supper.
with waking up and saying, oh my God, I got to go to the bathroom again.
I mean, I've always been really interested and thought that it was really interesting to think about dreams, and I like it when I remember them, but I don't remember them most days. But you often do.
When I woke up this morning, it was
Finish
very
that
real.
off, Glenn, please. I don't
Oh, yeah. He's got,
I don't want that. We can save a little bite for Jack.
I have applesauce for Jack.
Oh, okay. I mean, eat of as much of it as you want, honey.
Sounds like you're stuck with it, Glenn.
No. My dreams are usually pretty good.
I shouldn't have mentioned going to the bathroom.
I don't know. I thought I told Bob what I dreamt, but I guess not.
Or
He doesn't remember it either. That, you know, that's kind of a wonderful thing when you get this age and you don't remember.
Really, that's good.
In some ways. And, you know, I notice now that I'm this age that Bob and I both, you know, what he may pick up what I'm trying to say in a sentence, and I may pick up what he's trying to say. We'll answer together. But he has found that I change subjects. I'm thinking of a lot of things, you know, going on in my head, and I'll talk to him about it, and then I'll go on to something else, and then I'll come in the middle of it to say to him. And he said, I haven't the slightest idea who you're talking about. I said, well, I left that last thing. You remember what I left you with. Yeah. I said, well, I'm on to bigger things now. So I said, I should probably say, subject, Mary Stratton. If I'm changing the subject, I will announce it. Oh, you know, just silly stuff.
Yeah, Glenn should do that too.
What?
Sometimes you're just going on and on. I don't know what you're talking about anymore.
Vice versa.
He's deep into his puzzle.
Yeah.
Get all this done. I got Saturdays done.
Wow, congratulations, honey. That's
this week
pretty
I've
good.
done Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I guess Sundays are easy though. They're just big. Saturdays are tough.
I'm going to pause it while we wait for Grandpa to come back. If I can figure out how I hit record again.
Just hit
Pause.
record, yeah.
Yeah. Go on.
Every day, I hope that, you know, I do live in hope. I think, well, don't get all stewed about it. But some days I like to talk about it to him. That not, I'd like to throw the cigarettes out the window. I just don't buy any more cigarettes. That's another thing else. See, I practice in my head. Now, how can I say this that it will really impress him, and he'll throw those cigarettes away? Yeah, I do that. It's in my head, and let's see how I say it.
I had promised that at age 90 I would consider it.
No, I live in the chance that you just might not order anymore.
You order your cigarettes online, don't you? Where do you get them?
Pardon?
Where do you order them from?
It's varied over the years. I've been doing it 4 or 5 years. Right now it's a Switzerland, place in Switzerland. That takes the order and they're shipped out of Switzerland. Up until 6-8 months ago, I was ordering them from a place in Australia and they're shipped out of the Ukraine. There's a number of websites where you can buy tax-free.
Is this legal?
According to the sellers, it is, as long as you don't turn around and resell them.
I'm surprised more people don't do this. Or maybe it's more common than I know.
When I mention it to people and they hear that I'm doing it and how cheap they are, and then they say, you're using your credit card. They wouldn't do that. I never had any problem.
They're afraid it could be some kind of phony.
Closest I came once was a shipment. It takes about 3 weeks if you use regular shipping. And so you can get them in a week if you're willing to pay $10.50 a carton express shipping, but then just order them far enough ahead, you don't have to do that. But anyway,
Was that your phone?
I started to say that one time
Vibrating, yeah.
One time the order didn't show up, and I emailed the source where I bought them from. Said the order never showed. They credited full price back on my credit card. And 2 weeks after that, they showed up, and I have to plead guilty. I didn't let them know.
What's up?
Anyway, I don't know if there's federal tax on cigarettes or not. But anyway, they're less than 1/3 the price.
Wow.
So that's how much tax there is on cigarettes. That includes shipping.
So I think you're probably uniquely computer savvy for somebody your age. Are Don't you think? I mean, are your friends into it?
I don't have too many
Normally,
guys that are using it very much. My wife,
Spicy. When I did that, it was just too much.
They've all quit.
mostly women. I've never had any instruction in it. There's an awful lot of stuff that I don't know how to do.
But you're not shy about getting out and buying plane tickets online and buying cigarettes online and checking reservations, email, all kinds of things.
Well, I stumbled around long enough to get onto that.
So obviously, I mean, conversations we've had, technology, I just think about in your lifetime, just phenomenal, the changes we've had in technology and, as a society.
It's hard to think that the next 100 years can change that much.
I know. It does seem like that's not
what could
possible.
happen that hasn't already happened. that
Right.
type of thing.
Right. Yeah. So do you think that all these changes in technology, do you think this is a good thing? Are there negatives to it? Or
Good in what regard?
I don't know. Do you think society is better now than it was? Let's say America. Let's say American society better now than when you were, say, a kid.
I think it's good in that we have instant communication instead of waiting for a month. You know what's going on.
She's got Jack's slip.
What was it?
It's a little toy of Jack's.
Oh.
We may have to let her keep it.
Is there another one there? I can't tell. Is there another one on the carpet?
I don't see another toy on the carpet, but
Oh,
I
the
see
dog
she's
got
got.
it?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a little finger puppet of Jack's. It's
Hey,
a.
is he? Is he? No.
You get it?
Yeah. I didn't know what Glenn was up to. I thought he was going to play with the toys.
Should we let her keep it?
We can wash it.
All right.
She'll just chew it up.
I guess, do you see any downsides to the technology? Or, you sort of hear. It seems like people. Like I know when we talked to Glenn's dad last summer, he was saying, "Oh, I think that society was so much better. It was such a better time when we were kids."
We grew up in the best of times.
Do you
That's
think
what
so?
I say. What do you
Even though it was the Depression and your parents lost their farm and
No, that part's not good.
yeah.
I don't think we can judge whether or not we grew up in the best of times.
Well, it's good that I'm so naive that I think it.
What about
It's true.
it?
It's good that she's not.
Yeah. What about it? It makes you feel like it was the best of times.
Well, we came through, just think how many things were invented, and some of the inventions were good for us and some of them were not so good. We have so many people now that try to mastermind things and gyp people. They can do it. We have people that are just constantly trying to do something with a computer or
Right.
with
I almost feel like, I don't know that people are worse now, but technology enables someone who wants to cheat you to do it like on a bigger scale or a different scale.
I don't know if I've tried this with Glenn before or not, but back to the cigarettes. I could see my way clear to financing an operation, say running 2 or 3 semis into Canada where they sell a lot more than they do in the States even. If I could find a guy that would join me that would take the fall.
He's looking at you.
Sounds good to me, sure.
Would you?
As long as I get a few bucks out of it, huh?
A lot of money could be made in a couple semi-loads every day.
So what I think I've probably asked you pretty much everything. Overall, do you guys have hopes for, what hopes do you guys have for your kids, your grandkids, great-grandkids, and so on and so on?
Hope they have good fortune.
Okay, just think about my grandkids. They are so far ahead of us in our time. You, for instance.
You don't suppose they're growing up?
Yeah. Just think, what a great life.
Dear,
What?
you don't suppose that they're growing up in the best of times?
They might be. They might. But don't let, no, maybe I'm just naive. I told you that.
You said that already.
I said that one. But I do repeat myself.
So I guess...
And your dad and Matthew, you know, that was a heck of a deal when he lost his good job. But I think he became a happier guy.
It sure seems like it, yeah.
Didn't it? A happier
What's your
guy.
point, dear?
I don't have to worry about him. I don't have to be concerned. And Jana, look what she's doing. And Sora and Colin. I don't get uptight about my grandchildren.
I can tell it by your voice.
Yeah, I don't. They know how to do things better than I ever did.
So it sounds like your answer to my question is you're not really concerned about having hopes for your children and grandchildren because you think we just...
They're going to do so much
We got all our
better than
stuff
I did.
together. We got it all
Yeah.
figured out.
Yep. Don't disappoint me.
Yes, ma'am.
You watch her now.
I can best illustrate my oldest grandson's smarts by reiterating the time that I said, "Son, with your education, perhaps you could explain to me the details of just what is meant by quantum mechanics." And he looked at me and said, "Yeah, I could, but you wouldn't understand it." I said, "Okay, thanks."
Maybe Glenn can. Do you?
Yeah, I'm kind of curious about it myself. It's a big thing in Fairfield. You know?
Glenn would, but we wouldn't understand it.
Any parting words you guys would like to leave us with? This is for history.
Take care, have fun.
All right, thank you. Signing off. Oh no, did you have something you were going to say?
No.
Okay,
Dad said it.
thank you.